Hey, so these are one of the things that I promised that I would do, and I'm kind of long overdue, so I will just probably, I'll just make this one a little bit longer probably than I usually will. And I've been, so part of self-care for me is personal responsibility, and so I would work on myself and uncover a layer and look at it and all its beautiful, ugly, awful, terrible, joyful, wonderful layers and I'd heal from it, and then go through life. Another layer I'd come to and look at it in all its angles of its yucky, gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful, funny, terrible things. Um, Heal from it and move forward. But here recently, I have. Um, I'm going at a good pace, and then I come to like a stop. And during this entire process, this 10, 11-year process of really like looking at myself because for the longest time anything that felt uncomfortable I would drop out with I would daydream. Excuse me. I have I'm pretty proud of my imagination. It has allowed me to self-publish a book and just really more so not so much for the money. It was just really if I didn't share the story with the world, those scenes would keep, earworming in my head and in my brain, and they would never go away until I did something with them. Um, but a really unfortunate side effect of that, if you've had an upbringing that was less than stellar to the point that you feel compelled that in every uncomfortable, anxiety inducing situation, you just abandon ship, it's a bit of a problem. So, one of the things that I'm most especially facing with this week is anxiety. I have um, I've dealt with anxiety or not dealt with anxiety for the last probably at least for the last 20 years since definitely after college and living on my own and all that fun stuff of being an adult. I just dealt with anxiety, probably for most of that time and not in good ways. Just addiction and codependency, which is basically just relationship addiction, uh, just addiction to people and addiction to substances and things and obsessing about things being just so and perfectionism and all those awesome things like that. Um, so I am coming face to face with that, like actually sitting in my anxiety as best as I can, and not trying to daydream it away because I'd rationalize with myself, well, if you start drinking or going to a drinking binge or a drug binge, or once you sober up, you're kind of back where you were. And worst case scenario is you've done or said something that you have to apologize or maybe regret. I don't know. Knock on wood so far. I don't think I've had to do it, but it's been a long time and it's been a long day. So I'm coming really face to face with that, which is kind of weird because I've also been just really feeling vulnerable and like publicly announcing that to, excuse me, gosh, the Facebook community that I have on Facebook, just talking about being vulnerable versus feeling like a victim and all the things that it entails with that. Because while in the beginning, I will admit being a victim to some degree, but just because of the teachings that I've had, one of my teachers says, victims long enough become victimizers. And I believe that's true. And I can kind of see how that is kind of played out in my life up to this very moment. And what I can do as my own spiritual being in this human squishy body, how I can adjust to all that experience and turn it into wisdom versus turning it into an opportunity to be a martyr because I've done that and it's not terribly fun. It's okay for like a minute, but then after a while it's like it's a lot of energy to keep that up and it's just I'd rather just do things with my time, like helping people help themselves, um, so that we can all become enlightened beings. um, so yeah, that's just kind of where I am right now with that. Just kind of like just showing you, help me showing you, expressing to you my feels, what's going on right now. And I know as I do more of these videos as time goes on, it'll be easier for me to kind of just, do a better job of being vulnerable because it's something I don't really abide by hypocrisy. So to catch myself in the hypocrisy of not showing my vulnerability, which is one of the things that I work with clients to feel comfortable enough to express. I feel like the hypocrisy would be to me to keep requiring that of others, me not doing it for myself, and then that being some false environment of safety and trust. So this is me being vulnerable and trying to, me walking my talk and all that fun stuff. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask away and I'll be happy to answer.